I'm just really trying to look on the bright side, and like not even in like a toxic way, but just genuinely look on the bright side, because there's no other choice. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be just like a little life update. Yeah, this is gonna be a Sunday chat style video. We're just gonna be sitting down. I've just made a cup of green tea, and I really just want this video to feel kind of like a hug and a squeeze from me to you. I feel like I don't know, I have like a couple of story times that I want to tell you guys and just give you like, just kind of like what's been going on, like life updates from my last vlogs, like before we go into the rest of August and before like getting into other videos and stuff, because I have had a crazy week. And yeah, I don't know, I just kind of wanted to like share my experience with you guys, like what has been going down, because the last vlog you guys saw was my birthday vlog, which I can't believe was last weekend. As I'm filming this, we are, what are we, the 9th? No, we're the 7th of August right now. It's Monday. I'm planning on uploading this on Sunday, a real good Sunday chat on a Sunday. So yeah, last weekend was my birthday, and it was just like this fun, perfect weekend, and it was just like with family, and it was so amazing, and I was feeling so like positive and happy. And even like the video before that and everything, like just summer's been really good. I feel like life has been really good. I've been feeling really positive, and I've been doing a lot of like work on myself, a lot of personal work that I'm really seeing the results of, and like the benefits, and just, you know, taking care of yourself and taking care of your mental health. And I think sometimes like when you're in a bad place, it can feel like futile doing these things, but then it kind of just, I know it's like so silly, but like it becomes like brushing your teeth, and you're just doing these things, and like you start feeling better, and you really start feeling the difference. And that's like how I've been feeling. And like as I'm actually sitting here, I'm just kind of thinking out loud. That's why I love these videos. Doing all of that and like doing these self-care and these feel-good things are how I've been able to actually stay like feeling good throughout what happened this weekend, because we had a bit of a scare here in my little mini family unit between JS and I. He is okay, everything is good, but he's currently in the hospital. So I'm going to tell you guys just like, you know, from my like POV, how everything kind of happened. And yeah, I mean, aside from, you know, feeling worried and like the stress of everything, and sleeping at the hospital and like everything, I think I've been able to handle things well. And all that to say, it's like from the stuff that you guys saw in the previous videos. So let's get into it. Here is what's been going on. I also just want to say, I always feel like I need to justify why I'm sharing certain things. Like when I talk about, you know, like family struggles or mental health struggles, or these are physical health struggles. Like I always feel like I need to justify why I'm talking about this. And it's because, as always, my goal is to show you guys like a 360 of someone's life, and not just those perfect birthday moments, or those perfect like, you know, healthy, wealthy girl vibe moments. Like that can be real life, and that's super fun, and it's aesthetic, and it's inspiring, and it's, you know, aspirational, whatever. But sometimes things change at the flip of a switch, and this is real life too. And that's why I'm sharing it, because growing up, I always, like, I've been watching YouTube since I was like 12 years old. And when you're only watching positive stuff, and then something not so positive happens in your life, or you feel kind of icky, or, you know, whatever, you can think to yourself, and I used to think to myself like, oh, why me? These kinds of things don't happen to the girls I watch. These kinds of things don't happen to other people. It's only happening to me, when that's just really not the case. So that's why I talk about these things. That's why I share these things. And like I said, I want this to just feel like a hug and a squeeze, from me to you, and I need it back. So. Okay, so let's rewind to last week. Everything was feeling really exciting. I was looking forward to the week coming up. I had a PR event on Thursday, which those kind of events are new to me, and they're really exciting when I get invited. It was for a skincare company called Youth to the People. JS was going to be my plus one. It was going to be the first time that he accompanies me to a PR event, and I was really looking forward to that. And then on the weekend was Osheaga, and which is a music festival here in Montreal, a big one. And we had tickets for Saturday. We got tickets like through, I don't know, something. We got free tickets. And then Sunday we had tickets because I was going to go with Garage. And so that is another story in itself, like how just kind of manifesting that, which I'll tell after. But there was just like this really beautiful week to look forward to. And Tuesday night, JS starts not feeling well. He's kind of like having like a bit of a fever. He has a stomach ache, and I'm not gonna go into all of the details because it's very much like his story and not mine. But you know, we're like, okay, you know, something's not right. I figured he had like a flu or something that was gonna, you know, I was hoping he would wake up and feel better the next day, but things actually got worse the next day. We called like the nurse hotline, and everything was kind of pointing to either like a little flu or a gastro or even a food poisoning. I felt completely fine. Again, throughout that whole day, I was sure that he would wake up feeling better the next morning. But he did and he didn't. In some ways, like his symptoms changed, but he was still in a lot of pain. I'll tell you guys right now, everything ends well. So I'm not trying to like be dramatic or create suspense. Everything is fine. But anyways, this pain, it was like a pain in his abdomen, kept going for a few days. And all of the people that we called, all of, you know, the people we consulted with, no one said right away, you got to go to the emergency room. And the emergency rooms in Quebec have like notoriously long wait times. So, you know, it was kind of like the last resort it was like the last thing we want to do is go sit in the emergency room for 12 hours because you hear all of these horror stories. And JS was like, I'm thinking, you know, I don't want to go to the emergency room. It'll pass. And, you know, I feel bad for not saying we should go sooner. But, anyway, he had this pain, and Friday night, he was still in a lot of pain, and we said, okay, if you wake up tomorrow and you're not feeling better, we're going to the emergency room first thing. And I was so surprised when he woke up still not feeling better. So it's like, okay, you know, we got to do something. I gave Maggie to my stepmom who lives close to us, and her husband, he was like, this sounds like appendicitis. This sounds like when I had appendicitis when I was 11 years old. And I was like, appendicitis? Like, from the movie Madeline? You guys remember that? Anyways, we go to the emergency room, waited a little bit, got seen. We actually got seen quite quick, which was like really good. Turns out he had appendicitis, which is crazy. And, you know, it was like very emotional. I felt so bad for not pushing him to go to the hospital sooner. And, you know, we just really didn't know what it was, and we kind of downplayed it. And anyways, not only did he have that, but it had to kind of progress because we didn't go to the hospital, and it had like burst, and anyways, like medical stuff, blah, blah, blah. But the situation that he was in was very, very dangerous. And in hindsight, like, it's so scary because had we not brought him to the hospital, like when we did, it could have been life-threatening. Like, it's really, really scary. We were looking up afterwards. So they put him on antibiotics, they put him on pain medicine, like he's starting to feel better, but we had to wait in the emergency room. We had to wait. And for surgery, basically, because they remove the appendix and they have to like do a drain, and it's like, it's this whole thing. And while we're waiting, you know, we're looking up appendicitis symptoms and gastro symptoms, which is what we thought he had, and they are practically identical. The only difference is that with appendicitis, you feel pain in your right side because that's where your appendix is, and he felt pain in the center. So, you know, we really, really didn't know that's what it was, and I guess we're just lucky we, you know, caught it when we did. So this whole time that JS is not feeling well, of course, I didn't go to the event. I like stayed with him while on Thursday night. I didn't go. I stayed, you know, with him. And I also thought it was gastro. So I was like, I don't want to go infect anyone, even though I feel fine. So I missed that. And it's like, you know what? It's okay. Like, it's fine. We missed Osheaga on Saturday. And I was hoping that somehow, I think in my mind, I kept minimizing things, but in my mind, I kept thinking it'll pass, it'll just get better, and like even if he's at the hospital, like he'll be home soon, because I don't know, I was just delusional, literally. So Saturday we didn't go, and I was like, fine. But to me, it was like the ultimate thing was Sunday getting to go to Osheaga with Garage, because this was something that I had been looking forward to for like almost a year. Like literally since the beginning of my partnership with Garage, I was wishing for and manifesting going to Osheaga with them. And so here's a story time within a story time, is that when Garage initially reached out to me to work together in October, I like did a backflip. I was so excited. Like I'd been loving this brand, and I remember looking like on their social media and seeing like, you know, they have this big partnership with Osheaga, and like last year they had done all this stuff. And I remember when I told Camilla that I got this partnership, and I was like, next summer, so this summer, we're going to Osheaga with Garage. Like I can see it. And since then, since October, I'd been like talking about this and wishing for this. I ended up getting invited to Osheaga with another brand, and I remember being excited, but I was like, ooh, like I really want it to be with Garage. That brand ended up like pulling out kind of last minute. They were like, actually, never mind, sorry. I was like, okay, what? And then Garage, like it was unsure, and then it came through, and it was like, yes, we have tickets, we'd love to send you, like here's your outfit, everything. And I was so thrilled, because it was literally this manifestation moment come true. But we waited so long for him to have that surgery. I slept in the emergency room with him Saturday night. We were so lucky, we got a room with a couch. So I like slept on the couch, and I just stayed with him, because it was this crazy feeling. Like I like just did not want to leave him, and I was so emotional, and I was so like worried. Like I tried most of the time, I was like remaining level-headed, but then I was also like just worried, and like to see someone that you care about so much like in pain, and like, you know, you feel guilty, and you feel like all these things. And like seeing anyone you care about, seeing anyone period at the hospital is sad. And then seeing someone you care about, like you don't want to leave them. Like Saturday night, I left him to go get some stuff and to go take a shower, and like my heart was like hurting so much to like be away from him while he was like in that vulnerable state. So Sunday, I knew, like I was like, okay, you know, maybe if he gets his operation like first thing in the morning, but then it was like not happening. Somehow we were like 5 p.m. We just had, both of us, we had 5 p.m. in our mind. I was planning to go home. I was like, I'm gonna go home for just a few hours so I can shower, like just get some stuff, and I'll be back. And we both were like looking at each other, and we're like, be back by 5. I promise I'll be back by 5, like 5 p.m. So I'm in the car, and I'm like getting ready to go to the hospital. And he's like, can you please go to the pharmacy and he wanted dry shampoo. So I'm like, okay, but I'm gonna be later than 5 if I do that. So anyway, I'm driving, I go to the pharmacy, I'm driving to the hospital, I'm pulling into the parking lot, and my phone rings, and he goes, Zoey, it's time. And I'm like, oh my God, like I'm in the parking lot, like stall. So I park, I freaking run, like so dramatic, sprinting down to the ER where he is. I caught him just in time. Like, how did we know it was gonna be? They never told us 5, they never gave us any information, nothing like that. But somehow we just knew it was gonna be like, we just had 5 p.m. on our heads, and that's exactly what happened. Like I think I got to the hospital like 5:10. So I got to walk him to like go up with him, and then obviously like when you get to the operating room floor, like you gotta say bye. And I'm just so glad I made it in time, because like it made me think like, you know, that was like 30 seconds I spent with him in the elevator, and then just to say goodbye. But it's like such an important 30 seconds, you know, and like that 30 seconds is worth missing a festival, or missing an event, like missing something you've been looking forward to for so long. Like that 30 seconds is worth that, you know? So then it was the waiting game, and the hospital is actually right near Mount Royal. So I like went for a walk, because I knew I had to keep busy or I would just worry. So I went to Beaver Lake, and it was like really beautiful, and I just like prayed to the universe and was like, you know, please let everything go well, and please let them call me and say good news. And I was like imagining them calling me with the good news. And then the sun was starting to set, and so I was like, I gotta get out of here because there's no lights on Mount Royal. So I went back to my car and I was just chilling in my car, and you know, time was passing and I was like, okay, like, because my stepdad basically, he told me like, it's a 20-minute surgery, like it's no big deal. So I kind of had that in my head, and I was like, okay, it's been almost 3 hours, like, should I start to worry? And I realized I was like kind of hungry, so I was like, should I go drive and get food to like distract myself? And then his mom texted me and was like, hey, have you heard any news? And then that was like, because that, you know, kind of confirmed that it had been some time. And then my mind like started to go into panic mode. My phone rings. It's the nurse telling me everything was okay. And so thank God I didn't leave. It was like, I was like right about to like put my key and like start driving. So I grabbed all my stuff again, run back in, and I was so relieved to see him like doing okay. And I've been just feeling so relieved and grateful ever since. So that was last night. He's still there tonight. He's still there today, and he's there tonight as well. I'm just home for like a few hours cleaning up because I've been at the hospital all weekend, and I just needed, you know, a moment to myself. And I felt like I needed, this is like my journal. This is like me journaling this experience. And I've got like laundry going, and I just want, when he comes home, hopefully tomorrow, I want everything in the house to be perfect and clean. And, you know, he'd been sick here for a week, so I want it to not remind him of sickness. So yeah, that's what I've just been doing, and I'm gonna go back right away after. I think the kind of theme and thoughts that were going through my mind while all of this was happening is like, it couldn't have been worse timing, but like you have no choice but to accept it. And the timing was not only bad for, you know, for me and my personal stuff and like, you know, Oshiaga and whatever, but JS had been training so hard and so intensely for a triathlon, and the triathlon's next week. Like he can't do it. And that was just heartbreaking. Like when the doctor told him like, no, like you can't really do physical activity for 4 weeks. And like, you guys, I've never seen someone be so dedicated to something, like especially something kind of physical like this, like the way he was training and how seriously he took his training. And like, he was just so dedicated. Like it was really, really inspiring, and it was so nice to watch. And so I'm so sad for him that like it's not going to happen this year. And we asked the doctor, like, you know, how does this happen? Why does this happen? And like, it's pure bad luck. Like it's just pure bad luck. And it's like bad luck at the wrong time. But at the same time, you have to look on the bright side and see like, we are lucky that we did come to the hospital, because no one really told us to. We could have stayed home. Like it's bad, but it could have been so much worse too. And the way I've also been looking at it is like, I don't even feel sad that I missed those things. Like I don't even feel disappointed. Like the way I feel is kind of just like, oh, that sucks. But I don't feel anything deeper than that, because I'm grateful that there was something to miss, if that even makes any sense at all. It's like, yes, I didn't get to go, and like, yes, it's like, it's so cool that I got invited to Oshiaga with Garage, that it's like, that's enough, you know? That's kind of, I'm like, I'm okay with that. Like that I got invited is cool, and that I have somewhere more important to be is also beautiful, because like, it's, I think, a nice thing to be there for someone. And it's like, it just shows how much you love someone, like when something scary like that happens. So I'm just really trying to look on the bright side, and like, not even in like a toxic way, but just genuinely look on the bright side, because there's no other choice. The other thing I wanted to talk about, I just kind of wrote down on my phone, is like the fear that you feel and the anxiety and the worry that you feel for someone else when they're in this scary situation. It's such a different feeling from that, like, I think what they call it is like millennial ennui of like, oh, I hate my job. Like, oh, I, you know, like, and those feelings are very real too. And like, you know, you guys know me, like I'm so emotional, and I have these days where I'm like, what am I doing with my life? Like what I would call these like existential like feelings. Then something like this that happens, that's scary, and you have so many emotions, but like you feel those emotions with your feet on the ground, and it's such a different feeling than when you have those existential emotions where your feet are not at all on the ground. And it's just, I don't know, that's just like an observation that I had of like the difference between both and like the headspace that you're in, because you just have no choice but to like figure this out. I'm gonna end the story with something that, you know, my dad said that I thought was really like beautiful. Was like, I called him while I was waiting for JS to come out of the surgery last night. And my dad was like, you know, these kind of things show you what life is really about. Because, and especially like, this is also, I think, so true of getting older. Like, you think life is about parties and life is about getting to like post on social media that you're at this festival or like show your outfit. And, you know, we even think like life is about work and being productive, and life is about those things, and those things are fun. But then it comes down to the wire and you're like, oh, like life is about being there for the people that you love. And like, when you're comparing the two, like, because I was telling him about like that 30 seconds and he's like, yeah, those are the 30 seconds that count. Like 3 hours at the festival, all this stuff, or that 30 seconds with someone you love, like that shows you like what really life is about. So all of this has a happy ending. I feel like it's probably going to bring JS and I like closer in a way, and it just, you know, put a lot of perspective for me on like the way that my summer was going. And again, all those things that I thought were like so important and like the be all end all. Like, I've barely worked in like many days, and I'm not really thinking about work, and I'm just like focusing on like him and getting the space ready and like being at the hospital with him as much as possible, while also like, you know, taking these little breaks to like, you know, take care of myself and like shower and make sure I feel okay and everything. But yeah, this is not how I planned my August to be, but it's all good. So that's what's up. I feel so good to get that off my chest and let you guys in on really what's been going on. You know, I do plan to resume like filming and vlogging and everything as much as I can, and really just with whatever I feel like. I was planning on doing like a big mid-year reset like this week, but I don't think that's gonna happen. So I'm just gonna like do what I can. There's not gonna be an August reset this month, and for the rest of my videos, like I just don't know. I'm really gonna go with the flow and like with what I can do, and like also with what my other work kind of permits me. So anyways, I will keep you guys posted. Thank you so much for listening. I hope, you know, maybe this video brought you some comfort or just whatever. I hope, you know, I hope you're feeling happy. I hope you're feeling good. And just again, like give yourself a hug from me, because I love you so much. I'll end this video on kind of like a funny little note of this morning. I was driving to the hospital and JS was like, I would love like a good coffee. Like because he hasn't been able to eat for like 2 days. Well, even before that, like all week, he's barely been eating because he was in so much pain. But then especially pre-surgery, like you can't eat. So I was like, I'm gonna go get him like a good coffee. And I really wanted something like nutritious because I've been eating like just like crap for the past couple days. So I went to this place called Spirulina and I got like a smoothie for myself and I got a cappuccino for him. I put it on the floor of my car and I drove to the hospital. Montreal roads, you guys, are so bad. There's like potholes everywhere. There's construction everywhere. And I forgot about the coffee. Like I was just focused on getting to the hospital at that point. And I start to smell like the coffee in my car, like really strong. And I'm like, okay, it smells good. I park, I go to pick up the stuff and the coffee cup is like on its side on the floor. And I'm like, oh, good. Like it probably just spilled a tiny bit and it'll be fine. Pick up the cup. It's light as air. The cappuccino completely emptied all over like the floor of my car, but specifically like underneath the passenger seat. So I felt so bad for losing his cappuccino. I felt so stupid. And I was just like, oh my God, are you freaking kidding me? And that morning I had made him like a greens shake too to bring. I didn't close the lid properly and I sprayed the green juice all over my shirt. Like it was just like, can something go well? But what's going well is that he's feeling better, and like that's literally all that matters. So I'm gonna end this video with just like some soothing vlog cleaning clips. As always, every time I film like a Sunday chat or any video where I'm like being more vulnerable or talking about something that's like a little bit more negative, I always get this like pit in my stomach that I've just overshared, or that I've just like, no one wants to hear you being negative, Zoe, or like, you know, whatever. I always get that feeling. But to me, that feeling is my alarm that there's someone out there that probably needs to hear this too. So anyways, sending you guys so much love. Let's clean up my apartment, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you for watching this one. Honestly, I really appreciate it, and I love you. Bye.